Hi, everybody, and welcome to It's Okay to Be Okay. I'm Jen, and I'm here with Crystal and Melissa. And today we thought we would talk about something that every one of us deals with, and that's how do you how to deal with it when things don't go as planned. Like, what does this understanding do? Does it help when things still don't go as planned? We'll look at that a little more. Anybody want to hop in with anything or
So, yeah, when life doesn't look like we think it should, when things don't go the way we expect them to go. I think the biggest struggle, though, in that right there is that we have these plans, we have these expectations, we have these things that we think it should work out that way. And when reality doesn't match our plans, I think the real struggle becomes the real struggle is in our thinking. And it is truly because we're fighting reality in our thinking because it's not what we wanted. It's not what we saw. It's not how we expected it to turn out. It's not what we wanted. It's kind of a tantrum.
yeah, and it's not even so much when things don't turn out, it's the meaning we add to it. Like if this doesn't work, we decide that means I'm a failure. I couldn't measure up, you know? We add so much to things, and if I'm being 100% honest, throughout my life, nothing worked out as planned, and the things that did work out as planned were not that great. You guys ever have that where you really wanted something and you worked so hard for it? Because once you had that, you would feel better and it would just make everything okay? And then you get it and you're like, "What the fuck is this? What the hell just happened here? Because this is not what I thought it would be."
Yeah, it's almost like where's that euphoric effect, right? We've reached it. It's supposed to be bliss. Everything's supposed to be wonderful, and it's like flat. Why? And then
Yeah.
I love that.
I had that with it happens a lot with material items as well, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Really bad. Like, we got a hot tub, and for the first few months, it was fantastic. We just sold it. And then we got our dream car, and it wasn't very long before I'm like, "Okay, this is just average." And I was literally telling myself, "No, I love this car. I love this car. I wanted this car. I'm not letting that go." But it has, it is just a but it is, it's that state that we're searching for, that we think the thing or the situation is gonna give us. And it's not. It's perfect example, like when you get what you want and the state's not there,
Yeah.
because that's not what causes the state.
And,
I
go ahead if you
The only thing I wanted to say is I just love the car example because it's a beautiful, relatable example. Because I think a lot of people can relate to that. I know I can. You get that car and you're like, oh, I wanted this. And then you get it and you have it about, I don't know. I'm not going to put a time frame on it, and then you're like, ooh, look at that car.
Yep. Literally, we had like dreamed for ages about this car. We'd put it in our like visualization box. We've got like box. We put it in. It was like whatever's in this box is. Um, it wasn't a cheap car. It was a bloody good car, and it is a good car. It's a lovely car. And I'm like, I want a Porsche, even though I know that that's not going to give me the state that I want, because I just had a car. And it gave me the state for like 5 minutes, and then do you know what? It's not even about the car that made it most excited me. It was the manifesting it.
Yeah.
That's what I like, that's what made it fun for me, because we basically went to the car place, and because at first I said, "With no way he was gonna buy this car," and he was like, "Let's go and drive it so we know what it feels like. So when we're manifesting it in our mind, we know what it feels like." And so we went and test drove the car, and then when we was there, when we were starting to walk away, there was a feather on the tyre. I was like, "Ooh, that's the universe saying we should get this car." And we literally went back in our old car, and we was there, got like a half an hour just talking about it. And then we went back in and like, fuck it, let's do it. And it was just, it was that fun universe is talking to us kind of thing that I felt from it.
I love that. And yeah, I've set goals and I have fallen short of so many, right? And I assumed and decided that meant I was a failure, that I would never get it, that I would never be where I wanted to be. But looking back, most of those goals weren't to be who I wanted to be. They were to be who someone else wanted me to be, or what I thought might look good, but it was never, and the things that I did not plan, the things that looked like failure, the things that looked like rock bottom and the end of the rope, and turned into the starting points of some of the best things in my life. I knew my husband a long time before we got married. We were two of the most screwed up people you'd ever meet. There was no way we could like get our lives together and be happy, especially together, you know? And when he first came down here, everyone would call on me and like, why would you do that? What are you thinking? Do you want to go back to prison? And now everyone wants to have a relationship like mine and his.
Mm.
And you can't plan for what life has in store for us. And when we kind of shift what we see, so when something doesn't work out to our plans, instead of seeing it as I'm a failure, if we look at it as there's something better in store for me, and we can take a breath and leave that space to see the next stair in the staircase, however you want to, and trust in it, that's we end up in places we could have never imagined.
Yeah. It's seeing the opportunity in every aspect, whether we think it's good or bad. Like this morning, I was late for the gym. I was like looking at the clock, and I was supposed to be there at 9:30, and it got down to like 9:15. I was like, oh, I've still got like half an hour. And then it got to 20 past. I was like, no, I don't. I got to be there now.
Yeah.
And so I went out, and then I started driving off, and then I was like in a hurry, that, that urgency that comes in, like, oh, I need to go. So then I started driving, and then I started driving like an asshole. And then there was loads of slow drivers literally coming out of nowhere. And there's this roundabout that I go on, and there's never any cars on it, like a tiny little roundabout. And there was a car this time, and I had to wait behind it, and I was going, and I was like, no, I am creating this urgency. It's being created by my thinking right now. If I just take a deep breath, and I did, I just went, that urgency is not real. It's an illusion. It's fake. It doesn't matter what time I get there. I've already left, so I have no control over that. And it literally just dissipated. I was like, okay, I do not want to be that person that behaves like that. And I can choose not to. And it was just that kind of, that deep breath of like awareness and like, it's an illusion. It's not real. And that whole, like, it doesn't matter if I'm a little bit late. they're not gonna hate me or anything like that. They're not gonna think I'm a bad person or I'm irresponsible or anything like that. It's like that's been all made up in my mind, which is creating the urgency, which is creating the behavior. And it's like, wow. If everyone had that kind of awareness, it's like life changing.
Yeah. And, with my new job, like I've caught myself thinking, okay, I can leave at this time and still get there. But then there's all this traffic. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to be late. And you know, it didn't go as planned that I had a very clear ride, way to work. And so I create panic.
Mm.
I'm going to be late. I'm still new. I'm not even seeing real people. I'm not even a real employee yet. You know? I'm like a I'm like a intern employee at this minute, I'm very easily replaced. And I work myself up and then it's like I get there and it's like when I stop and breathe, realize it doesn't matter if I'm trying to will these people in front of me to do the damn speed limit. They can't hear me. It
No.
doesn't bother them. They're not getting a, "Hey, go the speed limit," in their mind. No, they're go "Look it over there," I'm the only one suffering.
Mhm.
I'm the only one getting that sped up heart and that little bit of panic, and then when I can catch myself, it's crazy because it's almost like the clock slows down too.
Yeah. And you just laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
You can just find the humor in it. It's like, "Oh my god."
Yes.
So I guess what keeps coming to me is why do we even think that we control life? Why do we think that, when it doesn't turn out the way we expect, why is it we think we do have control of that? Because I know there are still, if I sat here, there's so many stories, circumstances throughout my life that wasn't in the script. Not my script. Not my script. I didn't write that one. So whose fucking script was it? Because it wasn't mine. And so, yeah, I think I am just pointing to maybe let's like look a little bit of where does this even come from that we think that we control life, that we think that we control outside of us, that we think that those slow people should get the hell out of our way because we are late.
Right, you should know that you're in
They're
my
making us look
way
bad.
and that you're hindering my my well-being. No, they ain't doing a damn thing. I'm hindering my well-being.
And they're doing it on purpose.
Right, it's a
Always.
personal attack. That's like,
Absolutely.
if you were to go surfing for the first time and you decide, "I'm going after that great big wave," and you get knocked off your board and you're like, "The fucking wave attacked me." It was out
I
to
love
get
that.
me, you know? No, it wasn't. It was just doing what waves do.
Yeah. I really saw that today as well. Like, I saw, like, when I was kind of taking that deep breath, I saw me doing the same route and the same people coming out. I was like, no, it's not that they're coming out. It's not that I'm manifesting slow drivers. It's just that I'm in that state of mind now where I'm noticing them. And then it's like, oh, okay. So if this was yesterday and I wasn't in a hurry and I wasn't stressed out, this wouldn't be bothering me right now and I wouldn't be taking notice of it. It would just be another day driving. And I really saw that kind of like, yeah. I don't know if that made sense.
It did.
Yeah, it's the meaning we put behind it. Cause all that stress you were feeling,
Mhm.
you created it.
Uh,
All the stress I was feeling thinking I was gonna be late and I'm not a real employee and the the layers upon layers of shit that I add to it because of the meaning of they were looking at the stuff in the yard or whatever the hell they were doing to drive slow as fuck. That's fine.
I love that you both pointed to sorry, Jen, if I just cut you
No,
off, I didn't
you're
mean
good.
to. That you both pointed to a really key aspect. Just that little layer of stress is all it takes. One little reason that we give ourselves and think, well, shit, I'm running late. Um, in both your cases, I'm running late for something. Um, what are they going to think about me when I don't show up on time at the gym? I'm not a real employee and I am screwing this up already. Like, just that little bitty stress of just being like, I don't even know how late you guys were. And that's the funny part. Sometimes it's only like a couple minutes. I
I
was
was
gonna
like
say like
5 minutes.
5. I was gonna
I
say
was
like
3 minutes early. I still had time to go in and clock in.
yeah, but as soon as that thought comes in our head of, "Oh my gosh, I should have left 3 minutes ago."
Yep.
N What
Yeah.
the hell? And then yes, here comes the swarm of slow drivers and everybody out just, taking in the view and just making it Jen late and Melissa late, and they don't, doesn't bother them.
No.
And yeah, it's just our stress and our thinking and how we internalize it. And then, like you said, Jen, what that means about us now. What does it mean? I'm
Yeah.
showing up to my job and I'm going to be late, and they're going to think, wow, did we make the wrong decision? She can't
Yeah.
even get here on time.
They're gonna think like for me, I was like that she's gonna be disrespectful. She's kind of been like, all that kind of shit was going in my head and like, fuck off, it's not true.
Well, and it happens in every little area of our lives. I mean, even right before I got on here, I was being a little short and snippy with my husband because I have to go to the grocery store today. But I was expecting to get cash from someone, and I haven't gotten it yet, and it's late, and we have money in the account, but we finally have an amount, and I like the amount that's in there, so I didn't wanna use the money in the account. So I was being a bitch to him because I didn't wanna go shopping and see that money go down. But just the reasoning we put and the stories we come up with around why it should have went the way we wanted it to go, the way we were expecting, when it doesn't change anything. Because when I get that money, I can go put it in the bank. But it was like, no, no, I like the number that it's at right now, and I don't want to see it go down. So no, I don't want to do anything.
It's funny because so right before getting on this podcast, um, I looked at my watch and I was like, it's already 1. But I didn't get all like I didn't get all messed up over it. I didn't get all stressed out like, oh, I better hurry. Oh, I better this. Really and honestly, the thought in my head was 2 things. No offense, guys. Oh well, uh, I'll be there. They'll look and if they're worried, they'll say, "Hey, where are you?" And the other one was like it doesn't really matter. It gives you guys time to I thought to myself, well, you know what? That gives them time to chit chat while I'm behind. So, sometimes I think that, yeah, sometimes we get caught up in I could have thought they're going to think, wow, Crystal cannot ever be on time. Crystal is always X amount of minutes late. How disrespectful. She must not respect our time, which is absolutely not true. And so, yeah, like I didn't even feed into that. I just thought, well, I looked at my watch. I'm like, oh, late. Okay, well, they can chit chat for a few minutes. I'll be right there. It's not like, now, if I was going to be like 15 or 20 minutes behind, I'd let you know. But 5, nah, not sweating that.
Mhm.
And I hope you guys had a lovely chat.
We did. We did.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's like we have this thing about time. Like if someone sets the time, then that means, oh, you have to be there. Or if your message goes off, you have to answer it right away. Or all this crap. And it's like one time doesn't actually exist. It's just there to kind of help us structure our day. And when we let go of that kind of seriousness of it, like kids don't stick to the fucking times.
No.
Be more like children. And obviously, if you've got like an important like an important appointment or something, then yeah, be on time. But I feel like we can just start being more childlike and like we'll get there when we get there. Not like late, but set the intention
Yeah.
of being there on time and then let everything work out. Like us. You were early still. I was still only 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
What when we stressed about nothing.
Yep. And, that's one thing I've really noticed in myself when something feels heavy, when something feels a little chaotic, it's not what is wrong with me. It's not I'm never going to get this right. I mean, do those thoughts come up? Absolutely. I just don't give them my attention like I used to. I don't believe them. And
Yeah.
now it's like I get curious about why am I sped up? Not looking into the content, but looking, ooh, like it's moving a little quicker today. Or when it's heavy, like looking to see what I'm adding to it. Cause, you know, I add so much bullshit that doesn't go. Like I'm trying to think of like a good example, okay? Going grocery shopping. First of all, I have more than enough money in the bank. It's just like it's been a minute since we've seen this, so I wanted it to stay that way for more than a day. Um, it but it's like, well, then the money's gonna go down. Then I'm gonna have to it's then this, then, it means I'm not good with money. But I add so much crap. And a lot of the times the dots that I'm connecting aren't even to the same picture.
I
Mm.
was gonna say, do they even make a picture?
No, no, they're not even on the same page a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I first got my first high paying client, I felt like it was excitement and joy, but then there's all this other stuff, and I went and got like her a gift, um, because like, oh, I've got to get her a gift, I've got to give more, and then I was like, what do you want, Dave? Do you want something, Dave? And I was like, literally trying to give this money away because I felt so unworthy of it, and I felt like I was stealing, even though I know that that's not true. But it is, it's all that crap that goes on in your mind, and you can see how people sabotage themselves when they're
Mhm.
believing these thoughts. It's c
And how easy it's like they slither
mm,
into the little cracks and they hide and they get their little tentacles in, and you don't even realize it until they've already drug you back feet and feet, and you're struggling against them trying to move forward.
mm,
I just times where the little thoughts, those little thoughts that used to always run on repeat, that I'm not good enough, I don't belong, the imposter syndrome. Like there's so much crap that comes along with, well, nothing worked out as I thought it would. I was trying for this and none of that happened. So that means this and that means this. And so now all of this, it's just, yeah, I'm not
yeah.
saying anything right there, but I'm trying to say so much. There just isn't words that I have right now.
It's quite weird because I'm kinda, like, listening to you, but I'm not, but whatever you're saying is still going in even though I'm not comprehending what you're saying.
'cause it wasn't real words,
But it's
you
still
know?
going in. I still got what you said. Oh, I love that. But I love now, like, where when we struggle and when we go on these paths that we don't think that we should be on, like I always said the metaphor, I won't use the horse one, but like you've got this path of where your soul wants you to go. And sometimes you have on this path, you have something that a skill is needed in order to move past like a barrier or something on that path. And so you get directed down the path in the forest and it's not a path that you want to go on. It's, it's sometimes it's a painful path. Sometimes it's not a very nice path or a dark path and but in doing that, you're learning skills. You're learning to grow as a person. You're learning all this growth in that situation that we would call bad situation. And then it's like this is where either you keep going down that road and you get arrows shot at you and it's like, ow, fuck, that really hurt. And then some people turn around there, but then some people keep going down and they keep getting arrows and it keeps getting really like heavy and they think, oh, the world's against me, everyone's throwing arrows at me, but they're not. Their arrows are there to turn you back around, to put you back on your path. It's like when you eventually turn back on your path, now when you're at the barrier where you're like your soul is telling you you've got the skills that you needed to get over that barrier. And now whenever I'm struggling, even now where I'm struggling with like visibility and stuff like that, like I got guided to go and do all these networking events, like that's building my skill, my confidence. Even though it's fucking uncomfortable. I don't like this path because it's uncomfortable. But I'm like, now I'm like seeing it's like, okay, that's building me a skill to get to the life where I want.
Well, yes, absolutely. And sometimes we find ourselves in places that we never wanted to be, that we are resentful for being in. Um, Prison. I didn't plan on going to prison. I didn't wake up and be like, "Yeah, I think that would be fun." No. I woke up one day and was like, "I don't wanna go to jail today. I should light myself on fire." And that was the better choice to me. And yet, prison was not fun. It was not a great place to be. I never wanna go back. Going to prison was the best thing that ever happened to me because it got me away from myself, if that makes sense. Like, it got me
Mhm.
out of who I thought I had to be. Being stuck in prison made me really see my ego as nothing more than that scared little girl that was just trying to survive. And it made me look at myself beyond that, beyond who I thought I was.
Yeah.
It, brought me to Arizona and which led me to the three principles, which led me to here. And then, I quit my last job and I'm like, I'm going to be a coach and I'm going to make money and I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to, and 6 months later, I'm like behind on everything. And it's like, I need a fucking job. Didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Now I got this job and oh my God, I'm working with my people. My people. I like the people I work with. I want people at their lowest, at rock bottom, at broken, and thinking they can never be repaired because I know what a lie that is. And even though it didn't go the way I planned, the way I thought, I'm right where I'm
You need to.
supposed to be. And when we When we can stop being resentful and stop adding meaning to maybe it doesn't work out because it wasn't supposed to, because we weren't ever supposed to have that other thing. Or maybe it's just the wrong timing because we need more skills, like you were saying, Melissa. It, life unfolds and we cannot predict how it's going to unfold. And every time we plan and then get angry when the plans don't work out, that's on us because we're trying to control how life unfolds and it's not our choice. Sometimes life isn't fair and shit happens. Crap that shouldn't happen to anybody. And sometimes it seems like it just piles up on people and you can't catch a break. But sometimes, even though it looks like that, it doesn't have to be as heavy as we make it. When we can set down the meaning and look at facts, and from those facts, breathe and see where it unfolds, sometimes everything has to fall apart for something so much better.
Yeah, your old reality literally has to burn to the ground sometimes. I love the phoenix burns
Yeah.
and then comes back alive. And sometimes that old identity that you're believing in has to die.
Yeah.
And that can feel uncomfortable.
Very. Especially when it was like your security blanket.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There are the things in life too, though, we don't plan for that are the unexpected, that it's not in our script, would never be in our script. Horrible, terrible things that s exist in the world, tragedies that happen. And sometimes from that, in those spaces, it's not so much about what is this preparing me for? And maybe it is, but sometimes in those sorts of situations, at least in my personal experience, I'm never gonna know for sure what certain tragedies in my life, like, what was it preparing me for? Like, losing Braden, right now, I can't tell you anything in my personal belief system that would be so much more important than having him here. I know there's a reason, and I know I have to just sit back and just trust in that there's a reason. Obviously, I can't change it. I'll never be able to change it, but I don't know that silver lining because as far as I'm concerned, even if I find a silver lining to it, well, he was the platinum. So there are experiences in life that we may not know what they are preparing us for. Who knows? And I guess my point here is like, given the choice, right? If we knew what life had for us, well, no, I would have not chosen that in a
Mhm.
billion years. Never ever. That's why we're not given the choice. That's why the control is not up to us. And unfortunately, but we don't like, I don't know where I'm trying to go with this part of it. I love my son and I miss him so much. And I'll
And
never know the reason why.
the humanness of it.
Absolutely.
Now
The
you're
human
still
part of it.
and that's absolutely perfectly fine. You're human and you're feeling that grief still, and that's still a part of you.
I don't, yeah. And, but in that, I know that I've gone through the grieving process. I do feel like it's a process. Okay. And there might be people that'll disagree with this. And I'm not saying I'm over like losing him.
Mhm.
Never, that's never going to happen. but I don't live in that pain every day. I don't live in that pain at all. In
Mm,
fact, now I don't live in that pain at all because I just experience life differently now. And I know certain things for me to be true. And no matter what, he's always around me. He's formless. I feel his presence. I know he's around me. And so, yeah, and my whole point there, without going way into stories, right? Even though I've already gone into it, um, is there are certain things that you're not going to know
mm,
what the preparation is or why we experienced what we experienced. But just rest in the fact that life, mind still has us, even in those dark moments, even in those tragedies, even in our uncertainties. There's still a path, there's still a way forward, there's still all of those things. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. Someone else talk.
I think there's some Alan Watts says that really resonated with me when I heard it a couple months ago. And it was, we can see in different aspects. You can like get a telescope and or a microscope, and you can see really at the microscopic level. And you've got what we see here, and then you can get a telescope and you can see the sky. You know, the different points of view. And if you were to go into our blood and go microscopic, so that you're seeing it like you are now, you would see a war a war happening. You would see fighting and all that kind of stuff. Like it would be a war. But then when you come back into our world, you would see it in harmony. Like that would need to be done for the blood to flow in your body. And then you go back and then you see like the whole harmony. And it's like, yes, there's bad things that are happening, but we are at that microscopic level right now and we're experiencing it all. And there could be something that we cannot even imagine or see at a different level. And I had an experience the other day. Crystal, I told you about it, about consciousness, and I read something, and I'll say it because I feel like this is. I really saw this in this moment. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I had.
Oh,
So I had this blindfold on because, you know, I'm trying to do this blind sight thing, and I had it on, and I kind of just had an experience, and it was like I wrote it down. So I experienced consciousness in a way that felt separate from my body, though I didn't leave it. It was more like I could sense consciousness moving in and out of the body freely. There was no fear, only peace and a sense of complete oneness. It felt as though the body isn't who I am, but a kind of container, a pocket that consciousness pulls into in order to experience itself. I saw consciousness as vast, like an ocean, and human bodies as small individual vessels moving within it. Consciousness flows into these vessels, looks out through them, experiences through them, and then can loosen and expand again. The body felt like a boundary or membrane rather than an identity, almost like a diving suit or submarine window that limits perception when believed to be me, but becomes permeable when the belief drops. In this state, it felt obvious that consciousness is not confined to the senses. Seeing doesn't belong to the eyes, consciousness sees. Hearing doesn't belong to the ears, consciousness hears. When consciousness relaxes its focus inside the body, perception feels unlimited. There was a knowing that it's possible to move between these states, being fully in the body and also expanded beyond it. And that is where extraordinary perception and experiences arise, not from effort, but from letting go of the idea that the body is the self. The overriding feeling was calm, utility, and recognition, like remembering something rather than discovering something new.
That's
And it was
yeah.
just,
amazing.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, it was just this oneness feeling I got. Like I am you, you are me, and I just saw this consciousness, this ocean filling these little containers up, like these little mini submarines, man-sized submarines, with the window as our eyes, the sonar as our hearing, and then like these little senses as I touch, and I just saw the water going into him and experiencing itself. And I see that as us as human beings, and consciousness is coming in, and that's why, like, death no I'm not afraid of death one bit, because I know that I'm just being pulled into this body and then I'm coming out, you know? Yeah, that was a bit it's quite deep, but yeah. I've got tingles, I got, like, and
Yeah.
I'm all shaky. Look, I got shakes. I don't know why I got the shakes. Like, my whole body is shaking. Yeah, Crystal, what was you gonna say? I was sorry I cut you off.
I don't even know.
Yeah, that
It's
was heavy.
okay. And that, that's the second time, I've heard that, and it is still the magnitude of that is, like, mind-blowing. I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And maybe, it's somewhat helpful in what I was trying to, like, point to a little bit with the I'm not in a grief. You grief visits, of course, right? But I'm not in a grief state. I'm not gripped by it, and I'm not feeding those stories, and I don't live every single day in it. And it's okay for it to visit. That's normal, I would think. This being my only, like, not that I haven't lost people, but this being an extreme loss, like, yeah, I I'm not expected to know how the rest of that plays out for the rest of my life. I do know that he's always here and he's always around, kind of like you're saying, that whole consciousness, like his soul, his formlessness is still all around. It's still very much here all the time. And yeah, I love the consciousness, it's not the eyes seeing, it's the consciousness that sees. It's consciousness that hears.
Yeah.
It is all of those things. Yes, our senses are tools, but when we go beyond those tools right here and into the depths of consciousness, well, yeah, that's where, like, my relationship with my son still exists. It
Mm.
still goes on. I still love him, and you know what? He still loves me, and I know that. That's not a here. That's a deep inside me knowing, and it's beautiful.
And I wish
Yeah.
I could take that knowing and give it to people
Mm.
Absolutely.
because I know people that still can't let go of the why. Why me? Why us? Why did this happen? And the meaning. And the shitty part is when stuff like this happens, there isn't meaning behind it. It's not a personal attack against you. That's just how things played out. And and I'm not trying, but like I was trying to think about stuff like this the other day, and it's like, think of an anthill. When we come across an anthill, right? And we squish those damn ants. We don't think anything of it. They're just ants, and there's so many of them. Have you ever looked at any of our cities in the world and then look at an ant farm? To us, that one little ant, it's not personal. We don't take it personal. But then you see a few of those ants carrying their dead, carrying their friends, their family. They took that shit personal. And it just made me look at all of it a little bit differently, I guess.
It's that kind of change in the vantage point again
Yeah.
that I was saying. Yeah, I love that. That was really powerful. You should do like little story and story, like a kid's book. I'm just seeing it in my head, like it's a little booklet.
Oh, I don't know, ladies. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good.
Feel that this is a good spot, Crystal? Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off.
No, you're not cutting me off. As far as, like, do we feel as though we sorry, look at me, I'm distracted, if you can't tell. Um, do we feel as though we have
I feel like there's something missing, but I don't know what it is.
What are you looking at, Crystal?
right now,
What's
when I go this way,
yeah,
the window,
yeah.
I need to close my blinds. But there was a car outside that's, like, parked in front of my house.
Uh,
So then I saw the person get out, and so I'm like, "Well, who's here?" But they're going across the street. So that's what I was distracted by. Something outside myself. Go figure. But yeah, no, I was just saying, like, as far as the topic, did we come for like full circle there? Did we? Is there anything else I want to say? I'm concerned that yours is only 43% uploaded, Melissa. I had an issue with this the last time I recorded.
Why does mine always take so long?
Normally by now you're at 40. You're normally by now you're at 99 or 98. We kind of vary back and forth. Um, but I had an issue with this the other day when we tried to do What Are You Chasing, which is why when we got off
Yeah.
and I told you last weekend, Jen and I were doing a What Are You Chasing, and we did. Our guest, her thing did not go past 10% ever the whole time. And then when we got off, it sat there. I let it sit there for 7 hours. It was trying to process the whole thing. So I'm wondering if the same thing's going to happen. That's why I've kind of also been just glancing over at that a little bit. But anyway, back to
so as far as things not going as uh, what?
Literally, we're talking about things not going right.
Yeah.
yeah,
We're living it now, right now. So, how would we coach each other right now in this moment?
for me, I'm just looking, and I think if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yeah.
I can't get any more like I don't control that part. Technology, it's great, but even in life, we don't control that part. So I've learned that in so many different ways. So yeah, we are literally living it right now because we might have to record the whole thing again.
Oh,
But then I rest in the fact that if we do, there's a reason.
yeah.
There's there's always a reason. So
Yeah, and I think this is a really good opportunity to show our viewers in real time that we are human as well and that we get this and we're showing you what it looks like when we get that awareness. Because we could all very easily go into frustration and like, "Oh, fucking technology and
yeah, I
so
don't even
annoying."
fucking care. I mean, I would love to know if it does why this is the second time in a row, but other than that,
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
And we
care.
still have a whole nother day tomorrow.
Mhm. We can do a take two. I don't know. So do we want to end it here and see what happens?
yeah, I feel like this was the missing piece.
All right. So
Maybe it was.
share, subscribe. Let let us know if there's stuff you struggle with that you would like us to talk about. Um, yeah.
Also, if you've had an insight yourself, if you've heard something
Yes.
in our talking and it's been like, and you know, oh, I see what they were talking about. Tell us that as well. Like we love hearing when you've had an insight.
And also, real fast, I know we said it last time, but just remind anybody out there if you're looking for another podcast to listen to, check out The Space Between with Pete, Steve, and Aaron. can't say one of their last names, so I won't say any of them. And I'm so sorry, Aaron.
I know. And I'm sorry too, Aaron, because I can't say it either.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even try.
But
Also,
go ahead.
we have a special guest next time. So we're not gonna do one next week because I am away in America. But the next week after, we have a special guest, and then the week after that, we also have another special guest. So super looking forward to those.
Yes.
All
Oh,
right.
and I might have another guest too. So
Oh, well, we'll have to
sorry.
talk about that when we stop the recording.
Yes.
Yes, I'll talk about that after. But I met someone in a networking event.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're at 99, guys. 99. Come on, let's hit the 100.
Woohoo! Hit the road, Jack. Do 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 do.
All right.
All right. We're ending it. We'll see what
Yes.
happens.
Bye.
Bye.
One,